Today we're going to talk about area. We're going to talk about area of triangles and quadrilaterals. So we have the formula for a triangle, which is A equals 1/2 B times H. What would the B and H stand for? Base and height. Then we have a rectangle or a parallelogram. That's A equals B times H, so base times height again. We have the area of a rhombus or kite. They have the same formula. It's A equals 1/2 D1 times D2. Do you know what the D stand for? Diagonals. Okay, they stand for diagonals. So if you didn't know, they put diagonals next to so you can remember. And then we have a trapezoid. Is A equals 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times height. Okay, with this section, we're just going to do some examples. So we're going to do 5 examples. Go ahead and draw these 2 pictures. Ignore this little line I drew right there. It didn't look like a parallelogram at first, so I had to fix it. Alright, so since it's a triangle, we're going to use the formula A equals 1/2 base times height. Our base would be 26, and our height would be 19. Our height will always have to make a 90-degree angle. If you don't see a 90-degree angle, it is not your height. So when you put 1/2 times 26 times 19 in the calculator, what did you get? 247. And with area, it's always going to be feet squared, inches squared, meters squared, centimeters squared. If it's just the length of something, so like your base and your height, is just feet, inches. But if it's area, squared. Okay, I'll say inches squared, feet squared. All right, let's look at the second one. What shape is this? What kind of quadrilateral? Because on the quadrilaterals, realized we had a trapezoid, a rhombus, a parallelogram. So what was it? This is a parallelogram, so my formula will be A equals base times height. And what would be my base? 15. What would be my height? I would need to figure out my height, because remember I told you your height had to have a 90-degree angle. Okay? So how can I figure out this height? I can use trig. So if I use trig, you could also use special rights. If I use trig, it's 30 is my angle. What's the x? My opposite. And then what's the 18? So which trig function would I use? So I'm going to have sine 30 equals opposite over hypotenuse. So which trig function? So what do I do since the x is on top? I'm going to multiply. I'm going to bring it in front. So what's 18 sine 30? 9. So then what's 15 times 9? 135. How much? 135 what? Meters squared. Okay, what shape am I dealing with here? A rhombus, so the formula will be A equals 1/2 D1 D2. So when I plug in, do I know my diagonal? What's one of my diagonals? 12 is one of my diagonals. What's my other diagonal? Do I know it? I don't know it. So I need to figure out what it is. So if I bring this down, I have a 90-degree angle there. How long, and I look at this right triangle, because you know everything comes back to right triangles. How long would this side be? 6. And then I need to find this missing side here. So what can I do to find that missing side? I wouldn't do trig because I have 2 sides and I'm not looking for an angle. Pythagorean theorem. What would be my C? 10. So I'm going to have x squared plus 6 squared equals 10 squared. So I'm going to have x squared plus 36 equals 100. Subtract 36. So x squared equals 64. And then what would I need to do? And what's the square root? 8. Now would that be my whole diagonal? That would only be half of it, so what would be my whole diagonal? So then what would be a equals 1/2? What would be 1/2 12 times 16? It would be 96 what? Inches squared.